Good morning, or whatever time of day it is for you right now. It's great to be with you, and my name is Barron, and I'm going to be taking you through this week in actually my favourite book of the Bible. Are we supposed to have favourites? I don't know, but anyway, this one's it for me. I love the book of Philippians, the letter of Paul to the church in Philippi that he had helped set up, and it's a place where, or it's a letter which is actually quite a challenge, because he's actually writing this while he's in prison and writing to the church there. So amidst his own suffering, he's able to speak to them, and we'll see how some of that's really important as we go through. So we're going to be starting, logically, Philippians 1 today, and we'll be going through the whole book by Friday. But please remember, there's an awful lot of stuff here, and I'm only able to pick little snippets, of course, but I hope they'll help you on your daily journey and walk with the Lord. So I wonder if you remember, well, those of you who are my sort of age anyway, how in the past it was quite common for men to have an ID bracelet that we would just wear on our wrist here. It was often quite decorative or whatever, and it was sort of the fashion of the day. To be honest, I'm quite glad it's not the fashion anymore. But my mother gave me an ID bracelet, and it had me slightly worried, I have to say. And I think you'll understand why when I tell you that it had the name Phil on it. Now, we have got a wonderful Phil in our church who we know and love, but at the time, I actually don't think I even knew a Phil. And I said to my mum, who's Phil? And she just looked at it and she smiled, and she said, look at it a bit more carefully. And I looked more carefully, and it actually didn't just say Phil, it said Phil 1V9-11, which sounded more like a prisoner's number than anything else. So I wasn't really much the wiser. But she passed me her Bible, and she said, look it up. And I didn't know where to look, but eventually I found that what she had meant was not Phil, but Philippians chapter 1, verse 9 to 11. And this is what I read. And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best, and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. It's lovely verses, but the thing you probably need to remember here, I wasn't even a Christian at that time. This was when I was about a mid-teenager, probably about 15. I didn't become a Christian till I was 18. But she had put this onto this ID thing, and she wanted me to wear it because she wanted me to always remember this verse was her prayer for me. And at the time, okay, I was a 15-year-old boy. It was just one of those sort of, okay, Mum, that's really nice, thank you. I didn't really think much more about it. But later on, I did. I remember reading it soon after I became a Christian, actually, and remembering that it was my mum's prayer for me. And I actually phoned my mum, and I asked her, do you remember giving me this, and do you still mean it? And she said, yes, I remember it, and yes, I do still mean it. It's my prayer for you. And that was that was quite an amazing thing for me at that time. But what was even more amazing was how important this verse would become to me later on, because it was only a year after that that my mother passed away. And so I've gone back to this verse many, many times, remembering that this was the verses that my mother wanted me to always remember. So listen again, because I think this is an incredible prayer to pray for anyone who you know and love, and tell them, this is my prayer for you, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best, and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. I think that's a wonderful prayer. It's a great prayer from Paul to his friends in the Philippi church. It's a great prayer from my mum to me, and it's a great prayer for you to pray for anyone you know and love, and maybe even tell them, remind them, hey, Philippians 1 verse 9 to 11, that's my prayer for you. We'll stop there because time's out, but I hope that will mean something to you, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. God bless.